Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Awakening Talk and Stories, a podcast built on love. And yes, that is the inspiration for this podcast. That is the inspiration for all of the guests that I bring on in the future. And that's the reason why I am actually making this podcast today because um, I have a lot to say, and just scrolling through here is something I need to share, and I want to make sure I can read this when I get to it. Um, yeah. So before I started to make this podcast this morning, I had a lot of things bubbling up, and my next guest is Elizabeth Daniel, and she is an amazing psychic, an empath, an intuitive, and she has been working in the field of the professional side of psychic readings for, I believe, 14 years now. And so her story is fascinating, and it got me thinking about, I'm a professional psychic as well, and all it takes to become what we are to sit in the position to help other people. But I'm really making this to bring awareness to what that really is. And to me, the reason I'm able to do what I do, the reason why I'm able to guide others is because I spent a lot of time getting to know myself and getting to know Source, God, Creator, whatever word you use, please do. But I spent a lot of time sitting and talking and conversing with the I Am, with the God all around us, within us, above us, wherever. Everywhere we look, we see Creator, we see God. In the sky, in the ocean, in the land, in our animals, in the people we love. Quite literally, we are looking at the face of God. Each and everything we do, we're not separated from it. Each and every moment of our day. Just as we are connecting here today, it's no accident that you found this prequel, I'm going to call it, to my next guest that's coming onto my podcast. But as I sat here and I connected in with that energy, that light that is of the world, that created this world, I asked, what is it that you want me to share today? What is it that you want me to say? And I sat and I listened and I got the answer. And what I heard was, all who, all whose hearts are filled with love will enter my kingdom. And it's amazing how God, the universe, works in all of us, because I was pondering how we're all part of this collective story, the collective energy on the planet. And what part of the story are we buying into now? And if you look at the world, it's as if a web has been placed over the world, and there are weavers in the web. They're weaving the web behind the scenes, creating it, and humanity's thoughts, our consciousness, gets stuck inside of these stories, the web, if you will. So God invites us to step outside of the web, to go within, and to receive the messages and the answers that we need. And when we see it out in the world in a way that comes back to us with exactly what we were thinking, with what exactly we were feeling, we know we're on the right path. And I was thinking about what's going on in the world. Like, we look out and we see all of these crazy things happening. Um, there are systems crumbling, governments seem to be crumbling, but yet this web, these weavers of the web are they keep patching up the web, and they keep recreating the story and calling people back in and saying, oh no, everything's fine, this is what's going on. But yet humanity is waking up. And so I hope that you're seeing that, and I hope that you are in connection with your inner compass, with your divine spark, if you will, because it's within each and every living being. Every human, every animal, every creature on this planet has that divine spark. They have a reason for being here. Even the most annoying of creatures, has a job, has a mission on this planet. And we're all here just doing our best to keep this all together right now. And I'm trying to find this what I was given before I came on. All whose hearts are filled with love will enter the kingdom. That's what my message was this morning, and what we're seeing in the world. So I kind of looked up what I was given, and then a Bible quote came up, and it's in Matthew, and this one really resonated with what I was told. It's Matthew 24:12-13. And it says, sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. So isn't it really the truth? I believe that it is love that is going to save humanity at this point. It really is. And it's how we bring that into the world. We understand each other. We endeavor to understand, even if we don't. And if we disagree, we have to decide to say, that's okay, I disagree. But any system that is weighing us down so heavily and trying to put us back into a place where our spirit feels oppressed, that is not for our greatest and highest good for the collective, for humanity on the planet. So that's just some of what was coming through to me this morning as I was connecting in with Source, with the great I Am, with God, the universe, the creator of all things that are so great that in these human bodies right now, our consciousness cannot even begin to understand. But we're working on it, aren't we? We really are. So to get back to my topic about how somebody becomes a psychic or a guide for others to help them to be more in tune with what's going in or on around them, we have people that have sat in this energy. And are there people that work as psychics that are maybe charlatans, or they're not speaking the truth, they're not bringing true light into the world? Yeah, there probably are. But I can tell you, I'm not one of those people. And all the people I know that are psychics or mediums or working in metaphysical areas of life right now, guiding people, whether they're life coaches, healers, energy healers, all of these people that I know are true bringers and bearers of divine source light out into our world. And that is what people don't understand. We're so programmed thinking that it's evil to be psychic or to connect with people that maybe have crossed over and gone to the great heaven. They've crossed the great divide and they now reside in heaven. We were taught that it's evil in some way to connect with the part of them that still lives, the part that's within us that will leave these physical bodies and go back to that kingdom where I was told we all go when we bring that love with us, when we bring all of this experience with us, all of the learning that we've garnered in these physical bodies, we bring that all back with us. And I believe that the people that I know and people like myself, they learned to trust this in such a way that they went to the next level. So in other words, I trust my guidance so much. I trust that what I receive so much, I never question what I get anymore as truth. So when people come to me for a reading or for spiritual counseling of any kind, I say what comes through, and I say it in a loving way. Even if it may not be completely positive, there is always a reason why I'm given the messages that I'm given. And that we come through any dark or any heavy experience and we learn from it. And I help people to move through heavy things or things that may be weighing them down. And I consider myself so profoundly blessed to be able to do that and to be able to have the awareness and the understanding that I have the ability to help people in a way that maybe other people that are called in different areas of life can't do. It's such a miraculous and supernatural kind of connection, really, in a beautiful way. And I am never going to be into that mindset again, that anything that I was given on the inside, in my being, in my heart, and in my mind, was something that was not of the light, because it is of the light, and I am of the light, and I am sharing that with people. And that's my calling. That is my mission. Just like there are preachers and ministers and rabbis, and wherever they are placed in this earthly realm on this planet, I hope that they bring people their truest light, and that is their mission. So we're all in different places doing kind of the same thing, but in our own unique way. And as you get deeper into this spiritual awakening, this process, and I want to say it never ends, as long as we're alive, as long as we're here on this planet, and God, the universe, is still up here somewhere, and we're still here, we are still going to be learning until all of that information is brought down, and heaven will become, earth will become as a heaven. And that will happen, in God, the creator of all things, will dwell with all of his creation. And humanity is waking up, and we are being prepared for that. How long it takes is anyone's guess. Nobody knows for sure. Only the creator of all of this knows for sure. And so that is part of what I wanted to bring through before I actually have Elizabeth Daniel on to my podcast. That she, before a lot of us came into the awareness, she was out in the forefront. She trusted the messages she received. She trusted her connection with God and the universe, and she took that leap, and she decided to sit in the seat of being a spiritual guide, a spiritual counselor, if you will, in the most organic and natural God given way. And that's how I see myself. And a lot of the people that I know, we sit in hours and hours of spiritual development, spiritual growth, spiritual enrichment, whether it's classes, whether it's workshops, whether it's seminars. I'm doing this all the time. And I get frustrated sometimes, because when I work with people where I work, they come to a psychic thinking that I'm supposed to know everything. And honest to God, if I knew everything, you know, uh, where would I be? I wouldn't even have, I wouldn't even want to, or I wouldn't even be needed to sit in the position to help people right now if I knew everything. It doesn't work that way. But what a psychic will do is we sense into that energy, that source, that light that we know that we've worked with, we know that we've received messages from for ourselves, and then we know that we now receive them for others in a way that we can help them. And so when you seek out the counsel or the help of a psychic, a spiritual guide, know that they don't know everything. That is a, I don't know, that's a false belief. We hear people say, "Oh, if you know everything, give me the lottery numbers or do this or do that." It doesn't work like that. That's not the way it is. But if you are looking for someone to understand you in a very intimate and loving and compassionate way, that is a good reason to seek out a psychic medium, a spiritual advisor, because we're going to listen to you. We're going to get some information for you that you're not going to get anywhere else. And that is the truth of it. It's not dark. It's not, it is magical though. I will say that, you have to admit that it is a magical thing, and it is a presence. It is a gift. It is I believe the wave of the future. I'm here to help people to get in touch with their divine guidance so that my help won't be necessary as much or as often. And in the future, maybe not at all. And that is when true heaven comes down to earth and we are so connected and we know that there's nothing that's going to stop us from being exactly who we are called to be in this world. There's no system, there's no religion, there's no oppression. There won't be any of that that keeps us in that web that I was speaking about when I first started to talk today. And remember that there are weavers of a web around humanity right now. They've been here from the beginning of time. And if you look at that and you start to focus in on what's happened, what's gone wrong, and what could have happened that could have been better, the outcome could have been better, just know that these weavers of this web are still weaving that. They're weaving that story. And if you step into that web, you'll get caught in a story. So I'm here to remind you that in your being, in your consciousness, you can say, wait a minute, that story is no longer working for me. I'm not stepping into that story. I'm stepping out because I am a human being. I am not going to stay stuck in that web. I'm stepping out and I have the mind and the understanding and the ability and the strength to step out. And that's what we're all doing right now in our own way. And it's pretty painful. It is a painful process stepping out of these stories. And I was being brought out of these stories in a big way around 2005. And I had a lot of my psychic awarenesses come online. My spiritual knowing was activated. And still then, around that time, there weren't a lot of people like there are now coming out of this web that's been weaved around us and having the bravery and the courage to say, look, there's something bigger going on here. And we are all a part of it. And it is our love that will save us. It is our love for one another. It is our love and our understanding that will bring us to a higher level of consciousness. And, you know, if we look back, there's been civilizations all throughout history. They rise and they fall. And as we look out, we see that systems are crumbling, that places of higher being or places that rule over the collective of humanity, we see the flaws. We see how they're crumbling right now. We see that if things keep going the way they are, that these civilizations and these ideas that no longer serve us will fall. But guess what? Humanity is not going to fall this time. We didn't come here to live in this time frame to fall again. We came here to rise above all of the darkness, all of the programming, all of the systems that hold humanity inside of this web. Okay? And so every day when you hear stories and you see the weavers of this web that is ensnaring and encapsulating humanity right now, step out of it and say, no, that's not my reality. I am a sovereign being. I am free. I came here to live on this planet, to be free, and to experience the freedom to be who I am. And as long as each and every one of us does that in a loving way, and we care about others, can you even imagine what this planet would be like? A lot of old songs come to mind. The John Lennon song, Imagine, that song comes to mind. And, you know, back in the day, it was like, oh, that's a hippie concept, you know, that's the peace generation, you know, and they don't have a clue. But really, John Lennon, in my opinion, when he wrote that song, was a visionary. He was seeing heaven coming down to earth. He was probably 10 steps above, you know, people that were thinking that's the hippie generation. You know, his consciousness was already up there. he could see that so much had to change for humanity. Um, and that's kind of where I am. I'm not in that hippie mindset, but I'm seeing above the systems that are enslaving and encapsulating and still controlling the collective on the planet right now. And so that's what I have to say. I feel like my message is complete for today, and I hope that um, maybe just a little tidbit of what I said reaches you today. And if it did, mission accomplished. That is the reason why I make these little podcasts, these videos to share what's going on in my world. And I can't wait to see where humanity goes as a collective filled with love. Because when humanity figures out there is more of us and less of the weavers of the web, the quicker we reach the levels of freedom that humanity is crying out for right now. So, with that being said, I thank you so much for listening, and be on the lookout. It's going to be Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. Um, that's April 2nd. My guest, Elizabeth Daniel, will be with me. And be prepared to laugh and have some fun and hear some of Elizabeth's stories. And her story is a beautiful one. It's a beautiful story of awakening, and it's a beautiful story of love and of trust. Trust in the divine spark that resides in me and you. So I wish you well. Until next time, Reverend Melissa Kennedy signing off. Bye bye now.